Audience feedback was something that helped me improve majorly whilst creating my media products from draft to the final product. I gained feedback through comments using Blogger, and I also created a survey using SurveyMonkey to gain feedback on my final edited music video. Audience feedback helped me to develop my ideas further, with opinions and advice from my target audience, with ways in which I can improve to make my products be developed further and relate to the target audience. The target audience for our genre and video are typically indie scenesters, trendies and young alts aged 16 plus, both genders but predominantly female. The first feedback I received was for my initial draft for my digipack and advert. All audience feedback in which I obtained was very advantageous and helped me produce a much more impressive piece which would appeal to my target audience further. Something that cropped up frequently was I found some of my audience felt as if the CD tray was too plain and there was some concern over the font being unclear to read. Here is a response I received from one of my peers commenting on my first digipack draft. Max would fit into my target audience as he falls into the category of an indie scene star and enjoys indie and alternative music. He advised me to add an image in the tray panel where the CD goes. I took this on board and changed the plain circle colour using Photoshop to the image I'd used on the front cover to make it less plain and boring. I feel this was a good decision as the CD tray now looks much more interesting to look at, is eye-catching and engages the audience, enticing them with the colours and pattern created. Dan and Nathan, some of my classmates, raised a concern that the initial font I'd used wasn't very clear. I wanted to change this for definite as I did not want the audience to struggle when reading the cover. The only text on there was the band name, which I think is the most important piece of information and therefore needed to be clear. I firstly used the font Plaqueta 5, which I originally thought worked well. However, after testing out different fonts, I then discovered another one will work way more efficiently. The font Plaqueta 5 is rather tall with tiny lines used as spaces, which could cause it to become difficult to read, which was an initial concern of mine. However, due to this, I made the decision to keep the font as I liked it so much, but put a space in between each letter. Louis also fits into my target audience. He would be placed as an indie scene star and his preferred music genre is indie and alternative. Louis suggested that I include more songs onto the back of my digipack. I did change this as I felt it was an effective piece of advice because my previous digipack only had 8 songs, where the typical convention is to have around 12. So I then adapted the back cover, adding more songs which I felt improved the overall appearance as well as meeting the typical conventions. I also gained many positive comments from peers such as for my advert, a comment I received from Louis advised me to reposition that out now from the left-hand side to the centre. I did change this as well as many other aspects of my advert to suit my newly improved digipack to keep the continuity. I did adapt my poster almost completely when creating my final version. I changed this to keep the continuity with my final digipack using the different coloured squares. I also changed the font to the new one, Orator STD, which I adapted on my digipack. I kept the original image and did receive many positive comments on my original advert, however I felt it had to be adapted completely due to the new style that I had created on the digipack. I created my final music video after refilming at the new location, Yellow Bean Studios, and edited the shots that we had gathered to try and create the best video with the shots that we had. I wanted to make a professional looking video with clean cuts involving a range of different interesting camera shots. When we filmed the video, I had to bear in mind that the drumming and guitar playing would need to look realistic, so I had the drummer learn the beat to the song. I picked someone who can already play the drums as I felt this would benefit me in the music video as false drumming can look unprofessional and scruffy. The guitarist, however, could not play properly but learn the rhythm to the song and practice before filming. The lip syncing needed to be sharp and accurate to secure me getting good feedback, and I made sure these things happened as I wanted the video to be as realistic as possible. I also created a survey to gain some audience feedback for my final music video using SurveyMonkey. I asked 10 questions and gained responses which have helped me realise some vital aspects. From asking my audience's gender when completing the questionnaire, I found that my audience is predominantly women, which is what I expected as my target audience is more female than male. I also asked, was the video enjoyable to watch? The response was 100% yes, which made me feel like the music video was a success and I have achieved what we set out. Another question I asked was, do you think the video links to the genre of music, indie pop? I'm happy with the response from this question, which was 100% yes. This therefore shows that I have effectively created a video which suits my genre and relates to my target audience. I then asked, were the range of camera shots interesting to watch? This question also got 100% yes. This shows I have been successful and created shots which engage the audience and make the video interesting. I have also chosen to include some comments which I first received when presenting my pitch to the class. I received this audience feedback on what they thought of our ideas, and it showed us what music and video that we intended to create.